we are joined by Bill Lucia, who's CEO of HMS. Bill has been very kind to join Lumiata's Global AI COVID-19 Hackathon as a judge. He's an accomplished leader, a great thought leader in our community in the healthcare industry, and we're really honored to have him as part of this effort. So I'm going to spend a few minutes having a conversation with Bill, and I hope everybody will benefit from this. So Bill, thank you again for joining us in this hackathon as a judge. Let me start off with you and say how you're doing and how if your family and your colleagues and everybody is doing well in this pandemic.
Yeah, surprisingly so. We've done well both as a company and of course my family and friends that I'm close with. You know, we have 3,100 employees and we got them working from home in 3 weeks. So we're very blessed from that perspective. And I'm very honored to be on this panel, by the way. So I appreciate that.
Well, it's wonderful to have you. Wow, 3,100 employees. And that's in how many locations?
28 in the US and 1 in India.
Wow. Wow. So clearly, an all-American pan-US company and with an international office. So, as you think about this pandemic, what is top of mind for you as a leader, as a CEO?
Well, that's a good question. First of all, the safety of our employees, our clients, and the members they serve, right? That's very critical. Really all of the stakeholders in the industry and across the nation. So we did move rapidly. Of course, it took us 3 weeks to move 3,100 employees home. We leased 700 new laptops. And out of 3,100 people, we only had 5 people infected with COVID who were healed, had no spread in any offices. So that's the most important, but also I really am top of mind is the impact on our healthcare system over the next year and maybe years to come, because so many people are unemployed now and will become unemployed and will be entering the Medicaid program at a time when there's a lot of debate about our government-sponsored healthcare programs, but Medicaid will be the safety net for many, many people, and our states will be responsible for supporting those people and their healthcare coverage. I think the other thing is it's a time for us to all step up as leaders, pave the way, lead with both our heart and our heads into this new world where we need to be innovative and disruptive to find ways to not only solve this problem, but to be better prepared for the next time something like this happens.
Absolutely, and very well said. So there's clearly, from a product standpoint, there is a readiness there, but you obviously have made people as your priority, and you're also thinking broadly in terms of our responsibility as leaders. When it comes to HMS as a business, are there immediate areas in which you believe that your company and your products can help?
Well, yeah, there's a couple things that we've done. So one is because we have a member engagement platform, we very quickly worked with a number of our health plan clients, and we've already done 6,000 outreaches to members to better educate them about COVID, understand that they can order their drugs through mail order, better understand their benefits, how to use telehealth, all of these through our member engagement campaigns. And we've gotten great feedback on that, particularly from the health plans that used it, but from their members too, to be better informed, because there's so much disinformation out there.
Totally. Yeah.
The other thing, which you may not know about, but we're pretty proud of, is we're part of a global research initiative. It's sponsored by the Australian government, and we're the lead health industry partner in this collaborative. But we have data from 5 Medicaid agencies and 1 Medicaid health plan. It represents 18 million people and 850 million claims that are de-identified and are being used for research. And we entered this a while back, and we're trying to solve some industry problems, but we're now working with Stanford University on that database to look at the Medicaid population, determine what some of the different mitigation policies and practices that states are deploying, how effective they are,
Right.
what is the epidemic curve on COVID in that population, and then the impact of populations in Medicaid that cannot social distance, right, because of they're in a high concentrated urban area, and to come out with some predictive models that we think will still be applicable during this pandemic or for future pandemics. And as I said before, with Medicaid, which will grow enormously in 2020 and 2021 because of the unemployment rate, it's pretty important for us as a nation to get our arms around that.
Absolutely. And also because, this is affecting parts of our society that are on the margins, if you will, right? A lot of, people of color, folks who are on, on subsistence level of income. I was just in a meeting with California governor's office. We're expecting 6.4 million jobs to be lost in California. And 86% of those jobs will be lost by people who make less than $40,000 a year. So to your point about these are the folks we have to prepare our systems for, right? And technology can play a very, very big role there. You talked about that, you've obviously engaged with health plans and members. Any quick story that has stayed with you in this pandemic that touched you?
Well, it wasn't, there's two stories, and I'll start with the one that probably makes me the saddest. And that's a friend whose mother passed away. Obviously, they couldn't see her in the hospital. They weren't there to hold her hand. If we can prevent just one more of those, that would be amazing. With over 60,000 of our citizens have passed away from this, 9,000 of them being providers, nurses and doctors, healthcare workers. I don't want to see anyone have to go through that again. But the positive side that I've seen is the community spirit, people leading with their heart. Our employees, it's interesting, our employees built a SharePoint site called We're in This Together. And they very quickly, and they did this on their own. This was not done in IT. It was a volunteer army effort, and they put the site together. We're sharing videos every day about our work from home environment. But the other thing they're doing is challenging each other on what can you do to help each other and the community. And so we have employees who are taking their kids out, they're painting rocks and putting them on front lawns. They're helping an elderly neighbor and going shopping for them. I know I personally now, when I go to the supermarket, I bring prepared foods and I give them to a homeless person when I leave. I always pay for the person behind me in Starbucks line. It makes you think. It makes you think about the humanity that we're now seeing, and you wonder why it took something like this to make that happen.
Absolutely. I generally think strong teams can emerge even stronger from this crisis. Like if we can put our energies to solving problems or doing the kind of things that you are talking about, that we can do. And, people have capacity, right? And you're seeing those good stories emerge all over.
Mm-hmm.
We actually, as a team, convened very quickly when we were seeing the community spread in the Bay Area and said, what can Lumiata do, being in the AI business for healthcare ourselves? And Hackathon is one of the initiatives. And today, if I'm not mistaken, we have almost 700 participants from 50 countries around the world. So get ready for some, submissions to judge, right? So, but it's phenomenal, the kind of energy we are seeing from this very diverse team. Look, at the end of the day, this is a global challenge. I mean, it's a shared challenge. It's not a pandemic that's in one region of the world or with one community. It's everywhere, all of us. And by the way, it's been a most democratizing experience because it has affected prime ministers all the way to ordinary men and women, around us. So, so I just want you to know that that's been a phenomenal experience for us as a company to just even organize this. So what advice would you have for these hackers who are hacking away from all corners of the world as we speak?
Look, I'd say think big. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't, the sky's the limit, because we now have the technology, we have the passion of the globe to help solve this problem and to help us be better prepared for the next time this happens. So that's what I would say is um, just 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 think broader than you typically do. And we've seen so many exciting things. I was on the phone with Australians last night, and they've adopted a new app in Australia. 3 million people have downloaded it, and it alerts you if you've come in contact within, I forget if it's 6 feet or 12 feet of someone who's tested positive for COVID. And then you can make a decision to self quarantine or not. But it's amazing that 3 million people have already downloaded the app and are using it. So that's a similar to contact tracing and tracking that people have talking about developing here, but we should think even broader, right? And find ways in which we can better attack this so that we're better prepared for the next time something like this happens.
Absolutely. And well, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts. And I'm going to pay for that person next to me in the Starbucks line next time I go. You've inspired me to do that, an additional act of kindness. That's very sweet. I know maybe we can start a trend, globally. It all happened in this video. All right. Well, thank you again, Bill. Great to have you as part of this effort, and look forward to, engaging with you further.
It's an honor to work with you, and I'm looking forward to the challenge of grading those wonderful submissions. Thank you. Stay safe and healthy.
You too.